here for Comic Book Shopping, our first ever international episode, and I'm here with Mysterio himself, Jake Gyllenhaal.
What's going on? It's just the beginning of the absurd things I've done in my career. We can fly out of this scene. Cosmic energy flavor.
Cosmic energy flavor.
Love it.
So we're here at Orbital Comics. We are very far from home, and we're here to promote Spider-Man Far From Home. Are you ready to do some comic book shopping?
Totally.
Let's get some comics.
All right.
Happy Monday, everyone. Today on Movie Talk, we are reviewing the Avengers Endgame re-release footage, and then on top of that, we've got our first trailer for the new Jumanji movie. There's a pretty big twist in the trailer that I didn't see coming. I am so excited to get into that because we have an A-plus panel today. An A-plus panel to talk about Avengers Endgame, Jumanji, and my favorite Monday topic, it's box office. Nikki, Novak, and John Rocha are on the desk today.
Ew, let's do it. Let's do this
How are you guys
thing.
doing?
I love these topics today. I'm
go.
so excited.
There is a lot to cover. We are going to jump right into it with this Avengers Endgame re-release footage. And someone's already pointed out in the live chat that technically it's not really a re-release, or is it? Because it's not like the movie ever was completely removed from theaters. But for the sake of clarity here, we're calling it the re-release footage. And I'm going to tell you right off the top, we are going to tell you exactly what they screened. So if you do not want any spoilers and you want to go experience it for yourself, do not watch this conversation. That being said, I'm going to list off the 3 items they screened right now. So number 1 was a tribute to Stan Lee. Number 2 was a scene that was removed from the movie with the Hulk in it. It was an unfinished scene. And then the third thing was a scene from Spider-Man Far From Home. So you guys saw the footage. Do you think that that footage is worth someone paying the price to go catch the movie again in theaters?
Go, Rocha.
I think it isn't at all. I think it's like buying something or winning something at a fair. You get home and the seams come off of the stuffed doll that you got, and you're like, "Oh, gotcha!" I was really surprised at the lowest common denominator type of scenes they put in here. Yes, the tribute to Stan Lee is beautiful, it's fantastic, but the Hulk scene's unfinished. It adds nothing to the movie other than introducing homie from Die Hard, and then you get the scene that you're going to get anyway because you're going to go see Spider-Man Far From Home anyway. So there really isn't anything to attract you to come down and see this movie again, which is why I think it's not going to break Avatar's record, because this is not enough to get people in the movie. If they'd done an alternate ending scene, then yes, people would have gone in droves to see what else they would have done. But unfortunately with this, I just don't see, I know it made about 7 to 8 million this weekend, but I don't think it's going to build upon that much more.
I think the estimates, the box office numbers haven't come in for actuals yet, but the estimates right now have it at 5.5 million. And I totally agree with you. I think the way for them to have made that money to maybe come closer to catching Avatar would have been, hey, put the scene with Catherine Langford in there, or something that everyone was getting all hyped about. You guys know how much I love Avengers Endgame, and I really want to see it in theaters over and over and over again. But looking at what the ending of it was, looking at what the footage at the very end was, I was surprised they did that, because I had so much more faith in Marvel to actually put something there that was worth everyone's while. And agreed, the Stan Lee tribute is beautiful.
It is.
I wouldn't be surprised if something like that was released online eventually, and I hope it would, because I want everybody to see it. But out of all things, you pick that Hulk scene, it didn't even mean anything. And I know a deleted scene might get folks confused if it had like a major bomb in it that completely, changed MCU canon. But that scene in particular, it's obvious why it's a deleted scene. I actually think that in the context of the movie, reintroducing Hulk and introducing Professor Hulk was a much stronger moment in that comedic scene in the restaurant than what we saw here. So the fact that I'm like, good thing you cut that out. That's not what you want to walk away from this from.
I wasn't that surprised by what they in the re-release. I didn't actually expect more than what they released. I kind of knew what it was going to be, or thought I knew what it was going to be going into it. I'm sort of, I think, the same as you, though. I kind of think, well, yeah, they must have so much in their arsenal. I mean, you hear the actors talk all the time about they shoot all this stuff and they don't even know what ends up in the movie. You got to think, like, all the stuff they have on the cutting room floor, like, there's so much there that they could have. But again, I think maybe it could have been different plot points and it would confuse people or open up the conversation where people would say, oh, I like that avenue better than the avenue they went down.
I guess, or maybe save stuff for the DVD and Blu-ray release. Maybe that's it.
I mean, or even like a Captain America thing that would have fleshed that out a little bit to understand how that timeline works, how they both can coexist, or a little more about the explaining the time travel. You know, Silas wrote that great article, Silas Lesnick, friend of the show, wrote that great article explaining time travel. I'd like to see a little bit more of the explanation within the film itself. So the fact that this has absolutely no meat on the bones at all is a rare misstep from the MCU. I was surprised. And Kevin Feige.
That said, did you tear up over the Stan Lee stuff? Because I definitely teared up over it. I thought, and that was sort of a lot of stuff that you haven't seen before, some behind the scenes stuff. And you know, the way that they shot the scene with Thor, I thought that was a cute moment. There was some like really sweet stuff in there that I appreciated that. But I mean, personally, I think it's one of those things. Did they talk about this extra footage just to get people to go? Or is it one of those things where you go, I was going to go see it anyway, it'll be a nice bonus kind of thing? Or do you really think they were trying to dangle the carrot that much?
Yes.
That's what it felt like to me. And I've been saying the exact opposite since the day we heard about this. Is like, it's got to be something good. It's got to be something even that paves the way to Spider-Man Far From Home in a more creative way than just plopping a scene from that movie at the end of it. And what it ended up feeling like to me is the exact opposite of what I've been hoping for all this time, which is basically, I have to use the term cash grab. This was blatantly a move to make more money to catch Avatar, and I don't blame them. If you come that close after all these years to the biggest grossing movie of all time worldwide, you're going to want to catch it, and I don't blame them for trying to do this. But
not at all.
I think there was a better way
Yeah.
to do it where it could have justified the fans' dollars and cents, and also probably have gotten them closer to that number.
But think about it this way too. We've all seen Spider-Man. But for the people that haven't, they go to see this first, and then they see the Spider-Man scene. Will it get them to go, oh, now I really want to go see Spider-Man?
Well, who wasn't going to go see it? Who was going to see Avengers Endgame?
Yeah.
I mean, who was like, oh, you know what? Now I'll go.
No, they're always going to go see it. But it may be one of those things like, people get together and they're like, let's go see Endgame, and then we're going to go, and then we get fired up to see Spider-Man.
Yeah, but in the end, you know, and by the way, there was a Stan Lee tribute at the end of the Christmas version of Deadpool 2, so there already was a version of a tribute to Stan Lee. This one just kind of, I don't know, was a longer one, and it was nice, and you're right, it was nice, but in the end, this does feel like a cash grab, and this does feel, so all those people got upset at people like me and Adam Chitwood who were saying this was kind of like, should have been an asterisk, or kind of isn't the right way to go about it. We're kind of validated now to have an issue with it, because it is a cash grab, and I actually blame them for doing it, because sometimes you got to take an L, and it's okay to take an L.
Would you
didn't quite get there.
But
no, I wouldn't have done it.
You wouldn't have done the cash grab?
I think it tarnishes the film and makes it seem like you're naked for money rather than art.
No,
and I know it's weird for me to be on this side, but I think it does tarnish it a little bit by making them seem super money hungry for a film that's already under their tent.
Well, I don't think they're money hungry. They've made their money. They're after a record, and who can blame them for wanting to go after that?
I just don't quite understand why they went about it this way. We're still only in week 10 of its release. Why don't you wait a little longer? And especially because we have so much time between Spider-Man Far From Home and the next MCU movie, why not do it later in the year? I know they have DVD releases and digital releases to contend with, but even if they did something like, and I don't know how this would factor into box office, but doing an Infinity War Endgame double feature, that sounds like a more exciting thing that maybe would have gotten me to go yet again. But when you look at it, I was looking up the Avatar Special Edition release, and that movie, when it had its re-release, had 812 theaters with a $4,936 per theater average, and that's a lot higher than what Avengers had with, I think it wound up with something like, I have the total of theaters here. It was playing in just over 2,000 theaters this weekend with a little over a $3,000 per theater average, and you know, it just goes to show with how many theaters Avatar had that you wait a little and you increase that need to see it again. And I just feel like it was poor timing, and the end footage didn't do it.
But that was also a different time.
It was.
It was a different time.
Right?
There was not nearly as much saturation at the box office over the summertime when there's so many other things coming out.
But I think you make a great point. If you make people wait 3 months. It doesn't feel like a cash grab if you wait 3 months and then re-release it with new footage. It feels more like a thank you to the fans, and here's something new that we worked on and did some visual effects on and cleaned up, and you can come and enjoy it. They made $30 million off those extra re-releases. Avatar did, because they took their time in when they released them and added some stuff, and it's smart. But when you look at this only made what, like you said, 5.5
domestic.
Yeah, domestically, and I think another 2 overseas. But it's not. It's a fool's goal. It's fool's gold. And if they had waited 3 months, then people would have gotten more excited and come back to the theater.
Do you think they expected this reaction? Do you think that they thought they were putting out enough? Because typically, when anything they do, they give people a 30-second anything, and people are freaking out and digesting it like crazy. Maybe they didn't expect that.
I would be shocked if they didn't expect it. At this point, I am willing to believe that there are much smarter people over there that know. I mean, they've been doing this for how many years now with how many films? They need to know how their fans typically react to certain things. And I mean, this would have seemed like a no-brainer to me that this would have been the response.
They might be smart, but look how they ended up with this. So, I mean, that doesn't seem too smart how they tack the stuff on.
One of their typical post-credit scenes, if they had just thrown one in there, one of those typical that sets or teases something or sets something up, would have tipped it completely over the edge.
I'm not going to give any Far From Home spoilers, I promise, but I do wonder if my extreme disappointment has something to do with how good the post-credit scenes are on that movie.
Yeah. That's a fair point.
Could be what's happening here. Right. But anyway, a disappointment across the table here. Very briefly, I want to run you through the weekend box office overall, the top 5. We had Toy Story 4 topping the charts with $57.9 million. Then Annabelle Comes Home came in with $20.4 million. Number 3 went to Yesterday, which overperformed with $17 million, followed by Aladdin at number 4 with $9.3 million. And then the last one in the top 5 is The Secret Life of Pets with $7.1 million. Rocha, what stands out to you on the list?
For me, it's Yesterday, of course. I'm such a champion of this movie, having interviewed Himesh Patel for the Deep Cut, which you can go listen to on Collider Conversations. I loved talking to him about this movie. I've seen it twice now. It made $17 million. It made 24-something million worldwide on a $26 million budget. And it was part of AMC's program that they've done here, AMC Artisan, which is a new program for the theater chain, hoping to boost theatrical business for non-tent pole films. So they're going to keep it in the theaters longer. And I like that. That's the way of pushing back against things like Booksmart and other films not being able to perform at that level. And I appreciate that. So this bodes well, because Danny Boyle only makes about 75% of his money back. So I think that's a positive that it's 17. It'll only grow. I can't see it making 2.5 times its budget by the end of its run, but I think it's a great weekend, because that could have easily crashed out at 8 to 9 million. So.
I was happy to see that.
I was happy,
really well.
but I almost wanted a little bit more.
Yeah?
I mean, I know it's hard to top Annabelle. It's
standard
hard to top
Nikki Novak. Always want that extra
only
bit.
Because, true. That's a whole other show. But I felt like, and maybe it's just because we live in LA, I felt like the marketing, it was everywhere, and the this concept of the Beatles, it felt like a bigger movie to me than 17. I wanted to see a little bit more, but it's not bad.
I wouldn't have minded seeing it make more too, but I was very happy given the fact that I think I went into the weekend predicting 12, and at that point in time, it was on the high end of the predicted range. So to see it blow that out of the water with 17 million is nice. But you bring up Annabelle Comes Home. What a bummer. 20.4 million for 3 days, when I think the first one opened up and it was a huge hit with 37 million. The next one made 35 million over the course of 3 days. And granted, this one did open up earlier in the weekend, so it's not a surprise that maybe it would be a little more front loaded and it wouldn't have as strong of a 3-day weekend. But I think this is the lowest opening for the Conjuring film franchise, unless I'm forgetting something. And it's a bummer, because I thought this one was really good, and I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I'm surprised too, because it was really well reviewed for the most part. People did say that about it, is that it is a lot of fun. It doesn't just scare you, but it makes you laugh too. It's like a really entertaining movie. Horror. So I think that's kind of a surprise. And
it's like a playful haunted house movie. That's how I've been describing it.
And I just think in general, I don't know, are people just waiting for Lion King? Are they waiting for like these bigger,
Spider-Man.
like is that what's
well,
happening?
I've been bringing that up on like every other episode of Movie Talk right now, because I do think that's what we're experiencing right now, and what we could experience for years to come with all the Disney domination is the fact that these major blockbusters that are making Avengers Endgame sized amounts of money are basically sucking the air out of the room.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people out there jumping from blockbuster to blockbuster, and who can blame them when certain movies that we discuss are likely going to arrive on streaming or digital very, very soon. So I don't know, I can't fault the moviegoers for it. I just wish they could find a way to level out the playing
I feel
field
like
here.
a lot of these movies would do better, including Annabelle if they'd released it in August. August tends to be a slower month, other than Hobbs and Shaw being it's going to dominate. It would be perfect alternative programming if you've seen Hobbs and Shaw or you don't want to see Hobbs and Shaw. I think August is always the time for that sleeper hit, and where people are ready to sort of let go of the blockbusters. What?
It's going to be Brittany Runs a Marathon. It's not going to, I don't think that's going to, make all the monies at the box office.
Well, there's
but
a few
I'm rooting for
others
it.
that are open. But, August just tends to be that time where people sort of are willing to give the smaller movies a chance because they're done seeing the big ones and they're like, okay, let's go see this.
And with Child's Play and this horror, I'd love to explore if horror is a crapshoot in the summer. If it's more built for fall or early spring than it is for the summer, I'd like to see if what horrors are released during the summer months, standard summer months, and see what their box office has been like consistently over the last 10 years.
The first Conjuring was a July release. That's the one that started it all. So I don't know. It's a case by case, year by year basis right now. And the current status of the release calendar has me a little concerned.
Yeah.
Good things with Avengers Endgame making so much money, but it concerns me with some of these smaller releases.
Yeah.
We have another story to get to today. The Jumanji trailer, of course. But before we get there, you've got Rule of Two coming your way later today. Here's a promo.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on PodcastOne's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
And one more reminder about comic book shopping for you guys with Jake Gyllenhaal, a very special episode, and it launches tomorrow morning. So be sure to check that out as soon as it's live on the channel. Now we've got story number 2, and of course, it is the first trailer for the new Jumanji movie, which now has the title Jumanji: The Next Level. So in the 2017 film, we saw Alex Wolff's character inhabiting the role of Dr. Bravestone, who of course is Dwayne Johnson. This time around, though, it's Wolff's cranky grandfather who takes charge of the Bravestone character, and he's played by Danny DeVito. And then on top of that, Danny DeVito's friend, played by Danny Glover in the movie, is the one who winds up inside Kevin Hart's character's body, Mouse Finbar. So you see this trailer this morning. Does it make you more hyped for another Jumanji movie or not?
I couldn't love this trailer more. I could not love this trailer more. This trailer blew my mind. I love the twist in it. What makes me really excited is we always see The Rock. The Rock obviously can do no wrong. He does great. He's great comedically, but he's going to have to go really over the top, and it's almost like he's playing a character actor for the first time in a sense. Don't raise your eyebrow. He's really like just the voice alone. We've never heard. Have we ever heard The Rock do a voice?
Yes,
before?
many times.
Come on, that over the top? No, he always plays kind of a version of himself.
Name one thing. I
Scorpion
dare you.
King. The Fast and Furious
I'm trying to
movies, he
raise
goes
one
pretty
eyebrow.
over the top in the Fast and
Well,
Furious
he's over
movies.
the top in everything.
There
but
we go.
Yeah, but he's playing The Rock. You've never seen him sort of do a different type
You ever seen
of...
Be Cool? When he's in Be Cool, he
I don't
is
remember
funny
it.
in Be Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but lately, you know what I mean? Like in the last 10 years.
You keep shifting the
I'm talking.
goalposts, but I'll accept your argument.
I tend to do that. Again, another show.
I think the point is within the confines of the Jumanji franchise,
Yeah.
this to me felt like a very fresh spin on it. We already saw what it was like when the kids went into certain characters, but here it's something a little different, especially because you still have the foundation of Karen Gillan being played by the same young actor kind of thing, and just with the switch up with that, I think it's going to have a really fresh feel, and I'm just curious to know, like, I genuinely want to know what happened to Alex Wolff. Like, where did he go?
This is my concern about the trailer as much, and I love The Rock, and I did this junket, so I would love to maybe do the junket again. But like, this trailer does not 100% excite me. I don't want to see 2 old men in young bodies. Like, I just don't. I like the idea of 4 young kids and discovering what their situation is. They're older now. We see Alex at the beginning. We certainly see Bethany. We see Martha. We see Fridge. But then when this jumps in, it becomes Fridge, the old Danny DeVito, the old Danny Glover, and then Martha. So I'm just like, oh, so you took one girl out, replaced with a dude. Like, I'm just like, to me, it feels a little weird to go this route. So maybe Alex is another avatar in the game, and maybe Bethany landed someplace else. So that might be part of the journey. I would like to have seen that in the trailer, but we do get Jonas coming back. I don't know who the Asian actress.
Awkwafina.
I don't know who she's playing though. What
yeah, I have
avatar
no
she
clue.
might be if she's an avatar.
If she's an avatar.
Yeah, right. If she's an avatar, so
'Cause,
that
like,
excites me.
Technically, now I forget how Nick Jonas factored in, but is it possible for
Jonas
Alex?
Jonas is the Colin Hanks character.
And he was trapped.
becomes
in,
Colin
all right,
Hanks,
sorry,
right,
now
right.
we're spoiling the first Jumanji
Oh,
movie,
for
but
God's
that
sake.
came out a while ago already. He was trapped in there.
$900
We need a
million
re-release of Jumanji.
So maybe Alex
they're
Wolff,
the two avatars.
Maybe Alex Wolff winds up in him.
Right. And
This sounds so awkward. I really don't like saying that.
The song-
I've said it like 4 times this episode.
well, the song is also the game of love. So
No.
all's fair in the game of love. So who knows?
What do you have against old men?
I have nothing against old men. I love Danny Glover and Danny DeVito, but I like that Jumanji had a young energy.
But it's going to have a young energy.
Where?
How is it not going to have a young energy?
Who's
It's
gonna be
have-
the young energy?
Because who are you watching on camera? They're just doing different voices.
Well, it's going to be
The
a
Rock
nice-
playing an old man
it's gonna be
and
a
Kevin
nice
Hart playing an old
mix, too.
man.
And think about just video game culture right now. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what your background or your gender or anything is. Everybody games. Everybody at any age can game and enjoy it. And I think that's going to be something that might shine through here.
Okay.
But I agree with you. The Karen Gillan stuff, having her the same and bouncing off
Yeah.
those personalities, I thought it was a
I love
brilliant.
Karen Gillan in that role, too.
Yeah, it's so
She's
in.
so good.
She owns this trailer.
Yeah.
Karen Gillan does. So her and The Rock working together, that'll be fun to see again.
I think
Certainly.
the dynamic looks amazing.
All right. A little split here, but I feel like we came down somewhat positive, except Rocha has something against older
Kept
people
the grumpy
now.
old man over there.
All right. I think we've got time for one live chat question. Let's grab, oh boy, this is a rumor from Wo Rang, who's asking, rumors going around saying Vanessa Kirby is going to be Catwoman. So yeah, I forget where this rumor originated, but just keep in mind, this is only a rumor right now.
Yep.
Who knows where this could have come from? I don't believe the studio's confirmed anything. So we're just gonna toss it around right now for fun. If this winds up being true, would you like it?
This would be the best news I could hear. I love her so much, and I interviewed her for Hobbs and Shaw already, and she is one of the most incredible people. She's so engaging, but she's also, what's really cool about her is we were talking about a lot of the action that she's been doing lately, and she sort of talked about how she just feels like such a fish out of water. Like she did not grow up athletic. She's not that person, but just the way you watch her throw herself into it, I think it would be perfect casting.
Yeah.
So I side with Nikki yet again.
Okay.
Does that mean you're going to fall on the opposite side of the divide?
I'm curious about this because I liked her. I obviously loved her in The Crown. It's a great series, and I enjoyed her work in the Mission Impossible Fallout film.
Yeah.
So, and judging from the trailer, she looks fantastic in the trailer. So, would this work? Yes, she's certainly very sexy, can play it, and certainly the age range of Robert Pattinson. My choice is Emily Blunt, but that may be out of the age range a little bit of Robert Pattinson. I don't know, but this is a nice choice. It'd be a very interesting choice, certainly. And I've never seen a bad Catwoman on screen. So Vanessa could be following a really great tradition in that way.
Yep, I reiterate that. I'm very excited and hope this proves to be true, but who knows? It's a rumor. Remember that. All right, very briefly, Kenny Todd wants to know, anyone excited about Knives Out trailer tomorrow? Yes. I can't wait to see what this is.
Yeah, Don Johnson, when I interviewed, talked about it all the time. He loved it. He said he had a great time being on the set. He just raved about working with Ryan Johnson, raved about working with this cast. Says Lakeith Stanfield is an absolute standout in this, and Ana de Armas is the lead of the movie. Says she's fantastic.
great.
So I am looking forward to this as well. And plus, Ryan could use some love after all that Last Jedi crap.
Yeah, love. And Lakeith, I interviewed him at Comic-Con, and he came into the interview in this weird character and stayed in
think we
character
had
for
the
the whole
same
thing. Did we
interview.
have the same interview? Did he have the net over his face?
He didn't have a net over his face, but he said some unusual things to me during our Death Note interview.
Yeah, same.
I don't think anybody at Collider will ever forget that specific interview.
Well, I didn't even realize he was going to do it because we didn't really get a chance to chat ahead of time. And so when I started asking him questions, I was like, wait.
I'm pretty sure at
what's
one point
happening?
in the middle of our chat, we were like talking about something super serious, and he leans over to me and he said something along the lines of like, do you believe in the devil or something? I'm probably one of the only people he could have said that to that would have just not, freaked out in the moment.
Oh my God. Now I have to rewatch your interview.
I know. I'll share the link with you later. All right, guys, you can bet we're going to talk about that Knives Out trailer tomorrow on Movie Talk, if it arrives before 3 p.m. PT Live, that is. Nikki, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you
today.
again.
Rocha, as always, happy to have you here. Adam in the booth, Dory to the live chat. I don't know what I just said. All right, guys, we are out. That's a wrap on Monday Movie Talk. Please do not forget to like and share this episode, and then tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. PT Live, for a brand new episode.